Goedenavond, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. Now, one of the most hypocritical people walking the face of this earth is Hippo Eyes. Yep, Cyril Ramaphosa. You know that in November he fired a bunch of his own farm workers because he said he didn't need them working on the farm. Now, that's because this multi-billionaire is counting the shekels, if you know what I mean. But when it comes to Eskom, which has about 160% of its staff complement, in other words, it's got about twice as many staff as it needs, not one of those people is going to be fired because you, the taxpayer, is paying for their salaries while they sit on their fat asses and do nothing all day long. That is the reality under black economic empowerment. Black privilege is probably a better term. Now, why are we talking about Hippo Eyes? Well, I'll tell you. Hardship, poverty, and high levels of unemployment still prevail in South Africa, despite the country being 25 years in a constitutional democracy. According to President Cyril Ramaphosa, in his New Year message, Ramaphosa said jobs created by the economy were not nearly enough. In fact, the reality is something like 500,000 jobs were lost in 2019. And most of the reasons behind the businesses closing down was black economic empowerment. Yeah. That's destroying South Africa, that racist ANC policy. Anyway, let's continue. In May, millions cast their votes peacefully and enthusiastically, demonstrating for all the world to see that we are a robust and vibrant democracy, Ramaphosa said. We recommitted ourselves to build a new society founded on the will of the people in which all South Africans, black and white, truly belong. Now that's a load of crap, quite honestly. The whites are being persecuted. They're being totally taken out of the equation when it comes to employment through BEE, which is a government ANC policy. The Rainbow Nation does not exist in South Africa. It's a figment of Ramaphosa's imagination. That's the only place it actually exists. And Ramaphosa is not the sharpest tool on the bench. To be quite honest, he's a bit of a Dumbo, I'd say. Anyway, this is what Ramaphosa said. And yet many South Africans endure hardships. While our economy created jobs, these have not been nearly enough to stop the rise in unemployment or the deepening of poverty. He went on to say, for many lives have changed for the better, but many others are yet to feel the benefits of the economic reforms and new investment. Of course, he and his ANC cadres are the ones that are cleaning up at the top. Everybody else is just suffering, and they really don't give a shit. This is just a complete red herring that he's talking about here. Anyway, let's see what Pinocchio has to say about 2020, shall we? That's a new term for Cyril Ramaphosa, isn't it? Okay. He said 2019 was a year filled with both highs and lows, in which we measured great progress, but also encountered several setbacks. This has been a year in which we had to confront the darkest forces of our nature. As a nation, we have witnessed the brutality perpetuated by men against women and against children. We have seen lives, both young and old, ended with brutal violence. Now, Ramaphosa is party to that, because remember he released all those people in December. Well, they're currently still being released, nearly 15,000 prisoners, and they're ready, some of them, out there on the rampage, raping young children and women, because Ramaphosa let them out of prison. Good one, Cyril. Anyway, Ramaphosa went on to say, We have seen fear in our homes, schools and streets, yet as a nation we have stood as one in our determination to end the crimes perpetuated by those men who have seen no respect for their lives, the rights or the dignity of women and children. An outpouring of grief and anger has incited the nation to action, to undertake an emergency response plan that will turn the tide on this national shame. Well, the ANC have never got anything right. So, once again, that's a Pinocchio. Despite past difficulties, the country's aspired to fulfill an ambition of a better life for all South Africans. Day by day, we are drawing closer to our goal of providing quality health care to all South Africans, redistributing land to all those who work it and all those who need it. Well, when it comes to health care, everybody who watches this knows that's a load of BS. But everything Cyril says is BS, quite honestly. Anyway, he went on to say, we are making progress towards our aim to provide free higher education to all students from poor and middle-class families, also ensuring that all children benefit from early childhood development. Each day we draw closer to our target of 1.2 trillion rand in new investment in the factories, mines, refineries and shops that will drive our economic renewal. Again, a load of BS. You can't make this shit up. Expropriation of land without compensation. Eskom, which is broken. What sane investor is going to think of putting money into this country? Unless it's China, who is just waiting in the wings to start taking over all the utilities in South Africa as part of its colonization plan. Anyway, let's continue with what the Ramaphosa has to say. He says, steadily we are rebuilding the public institutions that are vital to our democracy, restoring our law enforcement agencies and taking forward the fight against state capture and corruption. I'm at a loss for words, guys. I've been putting up so many videos in the last few weeks about the police service, their incompetence, being drunk on the job, arresting white people for no reason at all. And remember that slow puncture? Yeah? That's the genocide that's happening in South Africa. And yet Ramaphosa is celebrating the fact that it's all coming right. Well, again, he lives in some kind of fairyland. There's no reality in his life. Anyway, let's continue. And so we enter this new year and this new decade, encouraged by the progress we have made under difficult conditions, knowing that we still have many mountains to climb and many treacherous rivers to cross. Okay, guys, this is called weasel words. Weasel words are where politicians know they're talking bullshit, but they're trying to paint a glowing picture of how wonderful things are under their tenure, because they just are full of, I'm not going to say it again, but you know where I'm going. All right, so let's close off this video. On South Africa this month, taking over the chair of the African Union, Ramaphosa said, we will seek to work with our sister countries to realize an Africa free trade area that stretches from Cape Town to Cairo and from Dakar to Mombasa. We know only too well the enormity of the challenges that confront us, but we are united in the knowledge that we have the means and determination to overcome them. Just as the strongest steel is forged in the fire, just as diamonds are forged deep inside the earth's crust, under the most extreme pressure, let us turn adversity into opportunity. Well, hippo eyes, I'm afraid the horse has bolted, and with it is a huge number of your most skilled people who are leaving South Africa in the drove, because they don't live in your fantasy world. They see what's happening to South Africa. All right, guys, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. Please like this video. Please share this video. And above all, stay safe.